So here's the thing, guys and gals. Um, some of you may think it's kind of like overthinking, but what I noticed when I've been uploading my latest videos with this new phone, that they were all in mirror mode. Now, I'm like, oh my goodness, all the videos are in mirror mode. And so everything that you've seen in relation to this town and the hotel and all that is in mirror mode. Now, you may think, well, it doesn't matter, it shows us, what it's like, this, that, and the other. Yeah. And why would it matter to you? Because you are not experiencing the so called reality. I'm getting to it, people. I'm getting to it. So I'm supposedly experiencing the so called reality. And then when I make videos and I put them on YouTube, the videos are all the mirror opposite of this so called reality. And so the setting apparently is selfie setting, and it sets it as default because most people basically only take selfies, and they set it in selfie mode like you are looking in the mirror, because you want things as it is when you're looking in the mirror, because you want to see what you think you are, and how you are. But of course, in the mirror, I've got a particular tattoo on this arm. Well, in the mirror, it will be on this arm. And these tattoos will be on that arm. So when I look in the mirror, it's kind of like, that's not me. It looks very much like me. But it's really bizarre because I've got this tattoo on my left arm, and in the mirror, it's on my right arm because it's a direct mirror reflection. And so it's like, wow, is that an alternate me? What's going on there? So the reason why I'm drawn to making a video about this, people, is because it's very much a validation and a reiteration of what I'm constantly saying, that this isn't real. This thing isn't real. And this is, if it's not a proof of a simulation, it's evidence that the cosmos is progressively working towards very weird stuff. Now, 100 years ago, of course, this couldn't happen. Now it can happen. Can we lend our minds to considering what else could be happening with all this bizarre phenomenon? And I wonder how many people are so tuned in that they would actually realize that they've been filming in mirror mode, or whether it wouldn't enter their minds. And if we look at the facility now of AI to film in mirror mode, I can't help thinking that the cosmos is vastly more intelligent than our recent AI. And so, wouldn't it stand to reason that the cosmos is already doing this magical stuff? Don't you think the cosmos already has worked out how to create an illusion for consciousness? Let's just say, in simple terms, our brains are in jars. This is how philosophers used to describe certain phenomena hundreds of years ago, before any of this stuff came about. They'd say, well, look, we can't depend on consciousness. So it could very well be that we are just brains in jars, and we are being fed by some evil demon what we consider to be a reality. Well, now we've advanced, exponentially in technology. Well, we can produce all these different sorts of things. We can produce holograms, and we can produce this mirror effect. And goodness me, there's a thousand things that we can produce, which confuse our perception. And so I'm thinking, and this is what I've been intuitively thinking for a long time. I'm thinking soon enough, particularly now we've got these quantum computers up and running, it is going to be presented to us that in actual fact we are a simulation. Because our technology currently can already create these holographic projections, which, they're reasonable at this stage, aren't they? Say like 30 years ago, we'll be saying, one day, I was thinking this when I was, in my 20s. Wouldn't it be fantastic if I could go and see a Beatles concert? If they had some sort of like holographic projection on the stage and it looked really real because it was very highly pixelated. Well, they can do that now. And I was already thinking about that years ago, thinking that they could actually, we could relive the Beatlemania and all that different sort of stuff. And doubtless there's going to be concerts with Elvis and, all these people that are no longer with us. They can bring them back. And then we have to ask ourselves, did they really leave? Were they really here? Or is it our consciousness which has just been tweaked in such a way that we consider that things are solid? Is it just mentalism that's going on? Are we really just consciousness dreaming of physical bodies? That's what I'm absolutely convinced of, people. So when I see things like the mirroring of my so-called reality, and I go, hang on, what the fuck have you done there? You never asked me to do that. You just set the settings on the phone as default, and I had to work that out. And so I Googled it and, look what's going on, and that was the case. So I've taken that option off now. And so the future videos, you'll be seeing what I see. Not that it makes any difference to you because you haven't experienced this world, and so the world you see could be this way, could be that way. It could probably be even upside down, because very quickly our brain realigns things, and so you can wear these glasses which put everything upside down, and after a few or several hours, the brain starts to operate as if things are normal, and your coordination starts to be quite efficient. Obviously this stuff takes time, but if you had like 1 month wearing these upside down goggles, then I'm pretty sure you'd be drinking and eating, quite normally. So we can see how we can be deceived very, very easily. And this is, what René Descartes, the French philosopher, discovered when he wrote Cogito ergo sum, I think therefore I am. Because he sat down one night in front of the fireplace with a candle by the table, and he started to dismantle everything that he could about his senses. And he discovered that he could actually dismantle everything, and he couldn't depend on any of his senses. And the only thing that gave him a hook into any reality was what he could consider as a fact, that he was thinking. Something was thinking, and he couldn't get rid of the thinking. But Buddhists knew how to get rid of the thinking. In meditation, when you're in deep meditation, you're not thinking, and you don't even know you are an I, or a being, or a human. So René Descartes was getting there, but he never made it to the end of the race. The Buddhists got there before him, and they got there before him a couple of thousand years before, but he evidently didn't know that. Obviously, it was a small world in 1650, information didn't travel. But the Buddhists knew that you can make yourself disappear, and all you do is stop thinking. And you close your eyes and you just go into a state of pure awareness, which is just awareness of awareness, and there's no world, people. So this thing, it's going to be becoming increasingly more and more obvious that it is Maya, illusion, a dream, a simulation, and all this different sort of stuff. When our scientists can, with stem cells, they can create body parts. Well, what's to say in 500 years' time, stem cells couldn't create the whole body? Because what scientists tell us, they tell us that every single detail about our body is in every single cell in our body. All the details are in every single microscopic cell. Trillions and trillions and trillions of bytes of data are in these microscopic cells, but each individual cell has its own programmed job. Some cells build livers, some cells build eyes, some cells build brain, but every single cell has the whole of the body written into it. So it seems to me very reasonable that that's just like a silicon chip that's got all that massive amount of data in, and you put that silicon chip into a computer and it opens the data. So I'm thinking that soon enough they'll be able to open one single cell into creating a human being. Because at the end of the day, what creates our reality? Our thoughts. It's our thoughts. Once we think we can do it, and once we think a reasonable, logical way in which to do it, then it's as good as done. So it's very, very peculiar, people, this experience. It isn't anything like what anybody thinks. And I don't think it ever will be anything like what anybody thinks, because what is projecting us as a hologram, or what is creating us from a database or computer as a simulation, or what is dreaming us as cosmic God consciousness, is vastly, vastly, vastly over and above our payload. And so some of us, we're starting to get little, we're starting to see, we're starting to peep beyond the veil. We're starting to see tiny little cracks in the veil, and we're peeping through into an uncanny dimension of knowing that we are peeping at ourselves, a future self or a past self or an infinite self. No past, no future, everything is now. And so, yeah, I thought we'd run that one by you, people. Just weird. Everything's weird. It's all weird, people. It's going to get weirder. And this is what I'm saying about these quantum computers. For those that can remotely get their heads around these quantum computers, it's going to fry their brains. And the rest of the masses are just going to stay ignorant. They're not going to know what's going on. But things are going to be changing exponentially. And I would think that most people wouldn't even have awareness of these sort of phenomena, the extent of the bizarreness of it, because everybody just takes things for granted. Oh, we're on a ball floating around the sun in the cosmos, and we came about via evolution, and all these silly stories. People just say silly stories.